site of one of the nastiest fights of the Fourth Corporate War. Now, just a year later, was a city of 4 million ghosts. The entire population had been exposed and killed off by some unknown disease, which was incredibly rapid and lethal. Whatever it was, the Koreans did contain it, and even today the blockades maintain on that dead city. Or is it? I don't mean the quarantine, that's real enough. Ask anyone who's tried to sneak in. No, I mean the city is really dead. It's hard to get satellite footage of the place. A friend of mine in an interesting place dropped me some images, and let me tell you folks, something is going on. In December last year, a fire broke out in the Donye district. Now, that's not unusual. Maybe a lightning strike, old gas line. What's strange is that in those satellite images in February of this year, that damage appears to be repaired. Now, the Koreans who maintain the blockade of the city have responded to rumors in the past. They say the city was already one of the most automated in the world before the war turned it into collateral damage. After all the people died, the machines just kept working. That even made sense at the time. Come on, it's been 50 years. Do any of you know of any machine that keeps running for 50 years without proper maintenance? I mean, sure, the machines keep the lights on, but who's keeping the machines running? And there's something I left out earlier when we were talking about this. Those buildings that burned down in December were all apartment complexes. So what's there now? Well, according to sat photos, it looks like warehouses, at least to me. Listeners, these aren't repairs. It's new construction. Sounds to me like the official line on this one is an official lie. As usual. Yo, people. Yeah, I've got a story to tell you. Maybe a little bit of history. Anybody remember the Bozos? They vanished from the city a couple decades back, so maybe you younger listeners won't remember, but clowns once terrorized this place. Yeah, clowns. Really mean clowns. Back in the day, Night City had hundreds of what were called poser gangs. That's a gang where all the members get surgery to look alike, or they get it on some theme like characters from an old TV show, or dead presidents. The Bozos were biosculpted to look like circus clowns, and they like to play pranks on people. But then they turned, and the pranks got real nasty. So, why did I bring up the Bozos, people? Well, that's because I've got someone for all of you faithful listeners to keep an eye out for. I've got a trusted source on the street that tells me we've got a visitor to our fair city from Brazil. And this guy is something else. He's got a permanent hairdo like a circus clown, and I hear he's even got a big red nose. Supposedly he's some kind of merc or arms dealer, but the rumor is he's also a genetic experiment. But hey, big nose, weird hair, could this guy have something to do with the Bozos? Or maybe this guy just left his circus somewhere else. Time's gonna tell, listeners. But in the meantime, I'm counting on you to watch out for flying pies that explode. This is Maximum Mike, the voice of Night City, coming at you from 107.3 Moral Lock Radio. Yo, people. So I don't know if you saw the news, but there's a Klimt exhibit that's opening at the California Museum of Art, San Francisco, in a few weeks. I like Klimt. I was planning on going myself, but I figure there's no point. I mean, after all, it's nothing but high-quality forgeries. What? something recently from a nomad friend of mine. She was telling me about some strange stuff happening out in the Badlands of the East. She said she ran across another nomad patrol. 5 people, all mauled to death by a wild animal. But the thing is, folks, there haven't been mountain lions out there in almost a century, wolves in even longer. So what could it be? Well, I'm reminded of a story. A story told to me by an old merc I used to know. He once took a job that had him fly over to Romania, looking for some corpo's missing brother. The search took him to an old village, and they decided to camp for the night before searching the woods in the morning. That night, they could hear barking, howls in the distance. Even though they knew it had to be wild dogs, the team could barely get any sleep that night. Then, just before dawn, they were attacked by animals. But they weren't dogs. They were werewolves. No, listeners, I haven't lost it.